So at this point, we are done with Flexbox, and we're going to open up Grid View. So Grid View is the one with all of the columns. And it is important at the top of your CSS to add this code because it sets box sizing to border box, which is telling the browser to include the borders and the padding in the width of the box or the item. And that is important. Otherwise, things are going to wrap and it's not going to look the way you want it to. So I'm going to view Grid View in the browser. And you can see it's set up exactly like the Flexbox one was. And we are going to start by adding that code for box sizing at the top of our internal style sheet. Then we need to add all of the CSS that is displayed here. It's a series of classes. We're going to have a row class, basically kind of out. The row is going to go in the parent or the container. And then we are going to have columns within that. So we are going to add the row class to main, which is up here. And so that is the parent. And so everything that's inside, we need to add column classes to. The default here is for mobile. Okay, so the default is for widths to be 100% and float will be left, which is why our columns kind of display next to each other. That is the default. Then, if it's a tablet or a desktop, we want to add this media query. So this is very similar to the Flexbox one. If it's a screen and the width is 600 pixels or more, then we're going to use all of these columns. It's still going to do float left. It's just that the widths are going to change. So I'm going to pause the video while I key in all of this grid view code. So at this point, I have the code entered in my CSS, and I have to add the classes to my HTML. So down here for main, I'm going to set the class equal to row. Then all of the other content needs to have column settings. And the column settings will be used if the width of the screen is 600 pixels or more. If it's less than 600, the width is going to be 100%. And so for the header, I want column 12 for the class, which is 100%. And I'm going to be adding that to the navigation, the aside, and the footer. And basically, I'm just copying and pasting. Now for the article section, For the first two, we're going to use column 6. So they are going to display side by side. But for the last one, the one that is right above the footer, that is going to be full width. So I'm going to put column 12 there too. So it's these two, this one and this one, that are going to have the class set to column 6. And if you remember, the columns within a row need to add up to 12. So column 12 is a full row, and here I've got 6 and 6. You add them together, we get 12. Could I have done column 4, 4, and 4? I could have. I didn't think it looked good. But I can show you what it looks like in a minute. I'm going to show you this first. So let's save this and we will reload. Okay, so this is what it looks like, with the column 6. So we've got column 12 on the header, on the navigation, on the aside. We have it in these 3 sections because it's on the article, they're contained inside. And then we have it on the footer. Okay, and then the ones in the middle, we have set to column 6. What I love about grid view is that you can kind of play with the settings. So let's say I want to see what this looks like. I'm going to change all 3 of them to 4 so they add up to 12. Save that and we will reload it. And that does not look bad. The reason I didn't like it was these varying heights. So that was not my favorite thing. So I personally thought it looked better using 6, 6, and 12. However, if you like it better at 4, you can leave it at 4. That is perfectly fine. And once you've got those column settings in, you are done with grid view. If you wanted to see what it looks like in the emulator, you need to press F12. Now on a laptop, it's FN and F12. And this is the button for the emulator. So this looks like a phone. Here's another phone, iPad. So you can kind of see what it looks like. And I'm going to turn that off. So that is grid view. And once you've got the columns defined and it is responsive, you are done.